Welcome back to the Beard Bros podcast. Today's guest, we got Toddzilla in the house. How are y'all doing today?
We're doing pretty good. I'm Todd.
Carrie,
Todd, nice to meet you guys. So, for those that don't know, and maybe you do know, they own a food truck as well as a restaurant. Just a little bit of history on them. They won Best Burger for a food truck in the nation for 2016 and 17, correct?
Correct.
Yes.
Okay. Was it a specific burger or was it more of a...
It was basically, I think for the most part, just the burgers themselves. I don't know what the criteria was.
well, the whole premise of it is it's the best burger food truck in the nation.
Okay.
So it's the entire truck. It's not just a specific burger. It's the entire truck.
Okay. See, that makes it way more clear.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things, the top 10 requested trucks, I guess, are the ones who competed.
Mhm.
And then you had to have the votes. But we competed with trucks out of like Kissimmee, Florida.
Major metropolitan
Major
areas.
cities. We were
Boston,
this little
Philly,
itty bitty city
Indianapolis.
competing.
Oh,
I mean, our population of 50,000 people
Dallas had several
compared
trucks
to
in there.
these major cities, and I mean the vast majority of it was people that we hit up and met when doing festivals and other events like that, that came and saw us and were from other parts of the country. We have a super loyal fan base.
Yeah, I seen a couple of reviews on there. They were from, oh man, now I don't remember exactly. I think one was from Washington and another place, I don't remember, but they had put a review comment on there that their expectations were exceeded and stuff, and so I guess they came from wherever and tried you guys out.
We've had a number of people that, the one that always sticks out in my head, it was a group of college-age kids, and they had 3 days off.
Okay.
And they jumped in their car in Wisconsin, I think.
Okay.
And then, I mean, there was enough of them that they could make the trip with, taking, shifts of driving, and they drove straight to us, had a burger, and then drove straight home. And that kind of thing is like, who does that, number one, but number two, how flattering is that somebody's willing to do that? Just one person would be enough, but a group of kids, it's incredible.
Yeah,
It's a burger dedication.
Yeah.
That is very incredible.
That is burger dedication.
And I don't think we've ever fed them before they
Right.
decided to come. So that was their first
Right.
visit to us.
Wow.
And then they've come back, what, twice?
Twice, yeah.
Dang, so they
awesome.
continue to come
Right.
just for, that's awesome. That's on the level of like when you go west, you in and out, when you're on the east, Shake Shack, like
Right.
you got your burgers or whatever. I mean, even down south it's Whataburger for the most part, but to know that someone came down
Right.
for you guys,
Right.
man,
That's
that's super awesome. That's
We have a customer who flies from Phoenix on the direct flight several times a year just to eat.
Yeah.
wow.
He gets off the flight, comes, eats, and goes back to Phoenix.
Right.
Hey,
Yeah.
you guys are popular. You
Yeah,
guys
that's
are
super
popular.
popular.
That's
amazing.
super cool. So I wanna get into how'd you guys get started? What started all this?
We had met, 2012?
Yeah.
And she was the assistant food director for Roswell Independent School District. I was the chef at Billy Ray's.
Okay.
And so we were both in the same industry for the most part.
Right.
And we were both I assume we were both in the position where we wanted to do something different. We wanted, something that was personalized to us. And we had the skills, and we just pretty much she came up with the idea of a food truck, and it just kind of snowballed from there.
Really? Did you know burgers when you first thought of a food truck, or what?
No.
What was
No.
your idea?
It wasn't until I found the actual trailer, we went and bought it, and then was like, okay, what equipment's in here?
Right.
Now we have to
And
figure out what we're
can
going to
we
make.
do?
So we had the trailer before we even knew what we were going to cook.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
See, it is big. It's bigger than the normal food truck.
Yeah, just a little.
Yeah, and the thing is we looked at what is here,
Okay.
and there's, I mean, if you look at any of the TripAdvisor or any of those things, easily 98% of the restaurants are Mexican food.
And all the food trucks are Mexican food.
Yeah.
That's right.
So let's do something different.
Okay.
So we came up with the concept of the burgers, and then just built up. My main concern with whatever we chose to do was that we didn't do anything that anybody else in town does.
Okay.
So we come up with a menu that is 100% ours. So
Yeah.
if somebody likes it, they have to come to us to get it.
Right.
Instead of being able to go somewhere else to get a facsimile.
Right.
So
We didn't have a traditional green chili cheeseburger on our menu for a couple
2 years. Yeah.
Really?
Diced green chili. Yeah, we didn't have that.
Yeah, because we did the chili rano,
Mhm.
which
Right.
you couldn't get a burger with that on it here.
Right.
So that was our green chili burger was the chili rano.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we found some good green chili, and so
Right.
we had to.
And that's the other thing is we take the time to find the best ingredients we can, so we can give people the best product.
Right.
What was
Yeah.
y'all's first burger y'all chose? Was like a
The Zilla burger was our first.
With the chili rano.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That
I-
was a signature burger.
Okay.
Yeah, I had done something similar somewhere else, and using the instead of stuffing the green chili with the cheese and battering and frying it,
Uh-huh.
I open the green chili up, batter and fry it flat, and then slice the cheese so it fits on a burger properly.
Right.
Yeah,
Dang.
Yeah.
So you were being more innovative when it came to actually the construction of the burger too.
right,
It wasn't
right, and
just your-
that goes right into the condiments and everything else. What does everybody put on their burgers? Lettuce,
Ketchup,
tomato,
mustard.
pickle.
Yep.
Right?
There you go.
Mustard. So I was like, what goes best with Mexican food? Lime, pico de
Salsa.
gallo, salsa. So we do the lettuce, pico de gallo, pickles, and then she came up with the baconaise.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta have bacon. More bacon, the better.
I 100% agree. Unfortunately, for the next 6 weeks, I've given up meat starting Saturday. So this
Oh.
past Saturday, I decided to go vegetarian. I'm not 100% vegan.
Why? What was the thought process behind it?
Well, this past year, I decided that I was gonna get a little bit more fit. So I had ketoed pretty hard.
Mhm.
And then that was that. I did that for a good while, and then I stopped. I slowed down, and I just kind of was like, I'm good. I lost like 30, 40 pounds close to it. And then after that, I would work out at Alton's gym. And just recently, they have this weight loss challenge. Jumped on the team, and I had kind of thought about going vegetarian before. I just couldn't convince myself for
Right.
the reasoning.
Right.
And so for this, I just said, you know what, I'm going to go vegetarian, and I'm going to see how I can hold up. And I think it'd be easy if I wasn't trying to be fit, because, I could eat pretty much anything, just
Right.
not meat.
Right.
But trying to be fit and not eat meat is kind of it's a challenge. It's like, I don't want salad all the time.
Right, and most fake meat products are wheat based,
Okay.
so you get a lot of carbs in them. They're
Right.
not necessarily low fat.
Okay. Oh, wow, man.
Yeah.
What'd you slim down to?
I'm probably at 218,
Okay.
220 right now. Last time I got on the scale, at least.
Okay.
But I'll get into that other stuff with you later when we're off the camera.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah.
I didn't want to go into that whole. She gets mad at me talking about it.
No, that's fine.
But yeah, I'm with you. The Impossible is one of the burgers that we serve.
And I've
Yes.
seen that on y'all's
Right.
menu. There is the Impossible Burger, and I think you have what is something else that's on there that's vegetarian? Is it y'all's bowls?
Well,
Uh-huh.
vegetarian wise, we've got 2 grilled cheeses.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, sweet cheeses, we got them.
Well, so tell me what made you guys decide to go that route?
Just from demand, we had a ton of people. You know, a good percentage of our customer base is tourists.
Oh,
We get a lot of tourists from, you know, East and West Coast.
Right.
They're looking for something healthy, vegetarian, that type of thing, and we just didn't have it. We looked at initially we looked at a couple of different veggie burgers that are out there, and we just, you know, it just didn't live up to the flavor of everything else we had, and we didn't want to serve something that was subpar flavor wise. So I had come up with something that was delicious, but we couldn't bind it because of gluten issues and other issues. Eggs for
Trying to keep it going vegan
Right.
instead of just straight vegetarian.
Right.
The binders were rather difficult with what we had available here.
right.
Really?
So we were kind of at an impasse. You know, do we go with something that's delicious, or do we go with something that is, you know, whatever? And so we happened to come across the Impossible, and Carrie got in contact with them, and they sent us out a sample, and it's delicious. If you haven't tried it yet,
I
it's,
tried the Impossible Burger from Burger King. I'm assuming that's the same thing, right?
Pretty much,
Pretty
yeah.
much. And so,
What are your
honestly,
thoughts?
frankly, I think I went about it the wrong way. I just straight up went for it. I should have taken the time just to pick just, I guess, the patty
Right.
and taste that separately.
Right.
Because honestly, with the ingredients they have with the Whopper, it just tastes like a Whopper. I don't think there's a significant. I didn't, at least not for me.
That's the purpose
That's the
of
point.
it.
Right.
So the Impossible Burger is to taste like beef. So
Right.
Okay.
the only complaints we've ever had are from vegans who have been vegan for so long they can't stand the taste of meat.
Oh, okay.
Impossible was actually created to take the normal people, the meat eaters, and give them an option for a non-meat once in a
Right.
while. It was never
Right.
supposed to be a staple, but once in a while, here, have this.
Okay.
But then the vegans picked it up and the vegetarians, and,
Right.
and it grew.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely grown. And it's crazy because I didn't know you guys had that on. How long have you had that on y'all's menu?
Almost
a year?
Oh, yeah, a little over a year.
Okay.
They're in their second iteration of the product. They're in the version 2 of the product.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Because I remember whenever Burger King was coming out with their stuff, they had their own little documentary, and we're talking
Right.
about
Right.
how it's volume 2 or whatever.
Yeah, so the thing with Impossible is it was created and marketed into the small mom and pop restaurants, the little guys, to get their feedback, get that knowledge. Plus, I mean, usually the small mom and pops are the ones who create the gourmet burgers
Right.
or the different things, and so they were trying to go into that niche, and the popularity grew, and it attracted like Burger King, and they have one other major account, and I can't remember who it is, that has the burgers, and then like Little Caesars does
It's
the
like Red
toppings.
Robin or something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
Really?
It's Toddzilla.
There you go. There you go.
That's super cool though that you guys decided to go that route. Is it popular? Do you got like, even though maybe it's not? I guess my question is because Roswell isn't that kind
Percentage
of place?
wise, I think, I don't know, I wouldn't say that it's one of our top sellers, but it's definitely within the realm of, you know, getting there when you're talking about the specialty stuff, because unfortunately we're always gonna sell the classics, which is just a plain Jane, you know, cheeseburger, and you know the green chili cheeseburger, which is, you know, they're both still delicious,
Right.
but there's no thought process in it. You know, it's one of those just random things you run in. You just want to grab something. You just want to go.
Right.
You know, the people that want to actually have a food experience are the ones that get, you know, some of the different things like our chorizo burger or, you know, whatever. But I kind of think in I guess basically what I'm saying is the one like the PBJ burger, things like that are delicious but not our top sellers. I think it's in kind of that realm of
Right.
where it's starting to pick up and people are starting to become aware of it. and they're ordering it more, even though it's not one of our top sellers.
Yeah, PB&J burger. The first time I tried that was, I think, in Red Robin. I believe they have one.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
not
you
even
haven't tried-
close
yeah.
to ours.
No?
I was
Not
gonna
even.
say,
You gotta
no.
try ours.
Yeah, there's
Close.
it's I had heard about it for the longest time. I heard, and then I think it was literally like last summer was the first time I tried it, and I was like, wow, this is pretty dang good. I want to ask, what made you guys do that?
Well, we had always had it. I say always, but we'd had it on the menu for quite a while.
Oh, okay.
But we were using the beef patty,
Oh, okay.
and then
It was okay. It wasn't great.
It was okay.
And then you switched to the chorizo because that's what it is.
We
right?
were eating Chinese food, and we had kung pao, which is peanuts and the chili. And I took a bite, and I went, "Oh shit, that's what we need. We need to put the PB&J on chorizo."
Right.
And
I went
that's-
back into the kitchen the next morning, put it on chorizo, and went, oh, shit,
Yep.
there it is.
It is.
That is so
And
crazy.
to me, it's easily, it could be, we could be selling that gangbusters. We had to sample it out because as soon as somebody hears chorizo, they immediately think, store-bought,
gross chorizo
Oh, okay.
greasy, gross,
parts.
and they don't realize that we make it ourselves. So, have you had our chorizo?
Yeah,
Okay.
I have.
It's unlike anything you've ever had. So
Yeah, it's definitely different than
Yeah.
the store bought
Right.
chorizo. It's not.
greasy. It's got flavor, and I mean it's
I
unlike
mean, you're
anything.
making me pretty hungry.
Yeah,
right
so-
now.
Yeah,
that's all.
You should have brought some lunches for the show.
I'm over here thinking, like, man, that sounds like something I'm gonna have to.
But
go
yeah,
on.
that is just great. And then I mean, if you want something a little bit different on it too, throw some weeds on there. You have a little crunchy, a little bit of onion. It's just delicious.
That's so crazy how just something just happens. You're not even really probably thinking about it, but then it's
That's
just
how the best things happen.
Oh, we had one. Okay, so we were in Albuquerque doing, drinking. Yeah, we were
most
drinking.
of the time.
And we were at a winery, and we had an ashtray, and we were sitting outside. It was summer, it was hot, and it has chocolates and blue cheese and different cheeses and stuff. Well, it was hot, and the chocolate and the blue cheese were like the last things on the board that we got to. And by the time we were there, we were, a couple bottles in. The chocolate and the blue cheese melted together. But that second bottle of wine, you don't really care anymore.
Yeah, you're just at this point, it's like a snack.
And so we tasted it and went, "Ooh, this
Wow.
is good."
It's
It takes
delicious.
that hard bite off of the
The
blue
blue
cheese.
cheese. Yes.
And if the chocolate's dark, it mellows it out.
Right.
And so we came
It's
back and we
super
made
smooth.
a chocolate blue cheese burger.
Wow.
It was good,
It's delicious.
but people
I
just
have-
couldn't wrap their mind
No,
around it.
yeah.
Oh man.
Oh my.
It sounds good. Yeah, blue cheese is one of those acquired tastes because it's got that. I don't know what that tastes.
Pungent smell, flavor.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
even when it's in your mouth, it's kind of not
Right.
normal. I guess you expect cheese to be like cheddar.
For the longest time, I know a lot of people like blue cheese on their steaks,
Yes.
and I just never had that. It just wasn't something to me that was good.
Mm-hmm.
And so we had talked about doing it on a burger, and then she had come up with the idea for the black and blue burger.
Oh, okay.
And I gotta say, it's delicious. I mean, honestly, pretty much everything she comes up with is delicious.
I don't think I've met a cheese I didn't like, so somehow to figure out how to make it work.
Yeah.
Granted, I haven't had some of the really pungent, rancid cheeses.
Yeah, those are pretty.
I don't know if I
hardcore.
can do those, but
Hey, you never know. I mean, look.
Yeah.
You've come up with
Put
some
my
great
chocolate in
ideas
cheese.
already. So you should definitely try it out. I mean, so how'd you guys settle on the Toddzilla?
Honestly, it was we needed something that was going to be flashing up and be out there. Unfortunately, Toddzilla was a nickname that I had for years, and not in a flattering way. So
You want to elaborate on that?
just think Gordon Ramsay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So yeah.
2-year temper tantrum throwing shit.
Yeah. He's
The
quite
insults, all
the
that stuff.
quite the character, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he don't stand for no bullshit in his kitchen.
Right.
So And so I want to know, when you guys bought your RV, you knew the equipment. Either you knew the name or you didn't know. When was the first time you parked that truck, and what was that experience like? Do you remember that day?
Yes, I do. So the city of Roslyn's got some weird food truck rules.
Okay.
You can't just park anywhere. You
Right.
have to be on private property.
Oh, really?
It has to be paved. You have to have permission letters from property owners.
Property owner, right?
And so knew the people that own the Silverdome
The one right there on 2nd Street?
Yeah.
on Second Street.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And so she said, "Hey, you can come park over at our place." I was like, "All right, it gets us out on the street. Let's do it."
Okay.
So that was our first spot. That's where we parked that first day. And it's like, all right, we do lunch. You know, being the first ones out, it's kind of slow, but not really that big. The more interesting part was when 2 o'clock rolls down. It's time to shut the door, and you've been working all day in a food truck, and you realize, well, okay, I need to pee before we go home.
There's
Where?
no bathroom.
Oh, snap. I thought you were...
No, it's like we're in a food truck. There's no bathroom. It's not a kitchen. There's no bathroom here.
Oh, my
The Silverdome's closed, so there's no access to anything in her building anywhere because
Right.
they're not there. The best bet was, all right, let's go see what Slinky's got over at the shop.
Oh, man.
So I had to go over to the auto shop. The door's barely hanging on with baling wires, got big holes in it. It's the grossest thing ever, but there's no way I'm making it home.
Dang it.
We didn't last very long in that location because there was no way I was going to pee in his place every day.
Oh, man. Yeah, that's tough. That is
It
tough
went on a
sledding
massive
there.
hunt for a new location after that.
And at that time, the truck or the food truck was painted
Yellow.
yellow,
Solid
yeah.
yellow.
solid yellow, like light pastel yellow.
No, it was Mexican yellow. Like old Mexican restaurant. Mexican restaurant.
My mother's gonna see this.
Well, your mother's not yellow.
No,
She's
my
not
mother's Mexican. She didn't want to hear me talk like that.
I don't mind. I don't think he might. I think it's hilarious.
I think that's funny.
Look, drive around. Look at the restaurants.
No,
that
I
serve
get it.
Mexican
They have
food.
the-
They all
have it
use that
everywhere.
same yellow and
Yellow,
that same green.
Oh,
Yeah.
fuck.
Yep.
And that trailer was green before that, so it was Mexican green and the Mexican yellow, and it was a Mexican food truck.
Hey, there you go.
And then go to our kitchens. It's the same yellow.
Right.
Yes! I grew up in that yellow kitchen.
Yellow kitchens are a real thing.
Yeah,
And so we didn't have the logo on it or nothing.
How'd that come upon? Like, I see that's like a really in-depth design on there. I want to know how that came upon.
The logo we had made Israel Hernandez. I don't know if you know
I don't think so.
He designed that. I came up with the rough draft of it,
Uh-huh.
drew it out, and then she kind of said, well, you know, we need to have it done like, you know, as me, Godzilla, crushing the city, and so Israel helped us with, you know, the graphics of it, and then Tony Gage. I don't know if you're familiar with him or not. He does a lot of steampunk stuff here in town.
Okay.
But he's also an artist, and he painted the whole truck for us.
Yeah, so Israel just made the head and the fire, so
Right.
which that was the original
Right.
Toddzilla logo.
Okay.
And then we had to go to Kansas City for a meeting because I was just barely left the school district. So I had one major meeting I had to go to in Kansas City. And we hit up Tony and I said, okay, here's what I want. Toddzilla stomping out the city, but give me a couple city icons on there. So if you look close, you can find the UFO Museum.
Oh,
Right.
wow.
And there's another something on there. I can't remember what now.
I think the Silverdome's even on there. It's
Yeah.
just not silver, but
Right, right.
Yeah.
It's blacked out, right?
Right.
Shadow?
Yeah, it's just a shadow. But I mean, Roswell doesn't really have a skyline.
Right.
But it's like, look, we got to put something in here, kind of Roswell-esque. And so I know the UFO Museum is
Right.
on there.
We also had him incorporate some of the names of the burgers that we had at the time,
Okay.
and he
Well, actually, we just said make it a city, but give me something a little bit Roswell.
Okay.
We took off to Kansas City, told him where the trailer was
Right.
in a friend's shed, garage, and he went over there and he painted it. We came back, and that's what he came up with.
right.
So it
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah.
even pre-approved or
Yeah,
anything.
we
We
didn't,
gave
like-
him full creative license on it.
Right.
That's the best thing.
Yeah.
That's that we're working on some stuff too, and we found somebody, and it's like we're gonna let them basically do
Right.
their thing.
Right.
Because
That's what they do.
Exactly.
You know? I mean, the last thing they need is somebody backseating them. You know.
trying to critique every
Right.
small.
It works if it's your same style. So like, I mean, we definitely have that grunge feel. All the artwork, everything I do is more grungy, urban-esque kind of feel to it. And Tony with the steampunk stuff, he just fit right into that.
Right.
And so it's like that was an easy one to give him full license to say
Right.
just go.
Just do it.
Yeah. Now if he was more cartoony or something,
Right.
you know,
Right.
wouldn't have.
Anime.
You get that because it's not like we just went in the first person. We did the same thing. We looked at people's work, and by no means would I ever say someone was better than the next. But just like you
Styles.
said,
Right.
it fits you. It
Right.
fits who we are. So that's kind of how
Right.
we eliminated people. It's like this one's this one's that. I think he's got what we want.
Right.
And so
It's kind of like those people who say, "Who's the best tattoo artist?" What kind of tattoo artist? Do you want
Right.
watercolor? Do you want this? Do you want that?
yes.
Oh, I don't know. I just want the best one. You can't pick one until you know what their style is and what you want.
Exactly. That's so true. I would have never even thought about it that way. But yeah, you're right. It's so many different styles out there. And like you said, well, I mean, so I remember when you guys had gone to Hike It. I think that's when I first heard about you guys. I think y'all made an appearance at Hike It. How did that go? For the first time. I must have nailed one.
Well,
And I'm sitting here thinking, what's he gonna say? It's like pretty much every event we did early was like it was a horror show. You know?
that one, you must have found us in the parking lot.
Yes, you were in the parking lot. You weren't like where all the other little ones were at.
So, again, being new, I mean, we started the truck in May,
No, May.
June, so it must have been Hike It the next year. So we had a year in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we did. I don't know. We were still trying to figure everything out, and
Right.
because we grind meat and everything, not everything's in the truck. I mean, because we can't carry it, so
Right.
like we'll grind and then we'll go and put things away and
Right.
stuff. But it rained that weekend,
Oh.
and that field was a big old sloppy mess.
Mhm.
And when we went that morning to go get set up, they're like, "Can't drive on the field." And I'm like, crap, we just paid you all this money to be here. The trailer's loaded with food. We have to set up. And so they found us, they made
gave
us a
y'all
space
spot.
in the parking lot. So considering that we weren't really in the middle of vendor row for our first event, I think we did pretty
Yeah,
good.
and the thing I remember the most is that we had put our food order in, and we didn't get what we wanted, and we ended up having to buy buns local. And if you've had our burgers before, they're juicy and they're messy, and we have to get a specific bun that's going to hold up to it.
Right.
And so the buns we had were just off the shelf buns, and it doesn't work.
Yeah, that must have been.
It's like we could write a book on the horror stories of events.
Hey, there you go.
Every time we hear this all the time. Is whenever we talked to a guy this weekend, and I'm talking about wanting having a food truck, and we run into older couples all the time.
I'm retired.
When I retire, I'm going to start a food truck, and it's like that's the
What's
last
something
thing
easy
you
to
want
do?
to do.
Really?
You know?
Is that a recommendation you
No.
would have?
No, not if you want
No.
nothing to do.
And yeah,
Really?
if you're retired, stay retired. Do it when you're 30. You know,
Really?
when you have the energy and the drive and the motivation.
You do
know?
everything you do in a restaurant in the food truck. The only difference is your space is so much smaller.
Right?
Okay.
So, in the restaurant you've got walk-ins, you've got all these refrigerations and all this other stuff that you can keep.
Freezers, microwaves.
In a food truck you don't. So like we have two 36-inch fridges. Everything had to fit in that.
Right.
There's no freezer in the food truck at all.
Right.
So we had to work with things being fresh or refrigerated only.
Right. Right.
So basically, you got to sell out.
Right.
You have to sell out, and then when you sell out, 5 hours before the event's over, you have to run, make a new
Restock.
set, and come back.
My
Right.
goodness.
And then,
So-
and then on top of that, you know, you think about a restaurant, but then you also got to worry about: are you gonna have enough propane? Are you gonna run out of propane? And then if you run out of propane, then you're really screwed because you have nothing to cook.
Oh,
You have nothing to
man,
cook.
that is.
So,
now that you put it
water.
into perspective, I would have never guessed
Water
it.
consumption, you know, make sure you don't use all your water. Your gray tank is the waste tank.
Okay.
Is how many, what, 10, 20 gallons smaller than the
about
the
20
main
gallons
tank?
smaller than. No, it's larger.
Larger. Oh,
Your tank's
right,
larger.
right.
Dang.
So I mean, all these things, you know, that you gotta think about in a truck that you don't think about with a food truck.
I was gonna say because it seems like as of recently, within I don't know, I'd say probably last 3-4 years, it seems like the growth of food trucks has populated. At least in this area and in Artesia, I work in Artesia, and it seems like there's always a new one, kind of like
Well,
almost.
It's actually declined.
Really?
Well,
Yeah.
yes and no. So in Roswell, when we started and we checked it out, there was 5 food trucks that were
Okay.
licensed to operate.
Okay.
That was it. And I think we were the 5th one going in.
Oh, okay.
That next year, there was 25 food trucks licensed to operate.
Oh, man.
They were everywhere.
Really?
And people were just
Right.
popping them up. And then the next year after that, everybody's down. If you drive around and you look, there's like 5 food trucks.
Yeah.
Now, the ones that pop out in the middle of the night, those are not necessarily
Right.
licensed.
Okay, so you
Because-
guys watching, you better watch out.
Some of them try to avoid getting inspected, and so
Okay, because I know Alma's in Artesia, the little food Mexican restaurant.
Mhm.
They just posted, I think, on Facebook. I think today or yesterday, they're putting their own food truck out now, and they
Well-
have their restaurant. So
well, okay, so that's where the difference is. Roswell's kind of declined, or has gone back to the original numbers.
okay,
The oil field, because
Right.
there's not enough buildings, there's
Right.
not enough restaurants. The workers, everything over there is just so crowded.
Mhm.
People are building and taking food trucks down there. So yeah, down in the oil field, it's booming down there.
yeah, definitely. You see it because, like I said, on it seems every month or so there's another one.
Right.
And like you guys said earlier, it seems they stick around the same thing: burritos, tacos at
Right.
lunch, and it's like I don't mind my tacos or my burritos, but you want
some variety.
Yeah, there you go.
Some
And,
like originality to it. Huh?
Yeah.
yeah, and
Well, like the oil fields, that's really though that's not what they're looking for. They just want
Right.
food in their stomach so they can keep
yeah,
working.
that's
So
very
they, and they
true.
want it fast because they don't
Right.
get off those rigs very long. So it's whatever you can cook fast and cheap.
Yep.
Right, that's so
Have it
true.
ready to go. Just hand out burritos. Just hand it out.
Was there ever like territory wars with y'all, like food trucks, where people like trying to steal y'all spot with?
No.
Yes.
Well, still our spot.
Yes, they stole our spot.
Oh,
Wow.
So okay,
So I never really paid attention, and honestly, it's like, you know, there's two parts of it.
Okay.
Because you have that aspect of it, but then, you know, the other part, the one that always pops in my head, the biggest as far as spot location goes, is we did an event in Portales when we at the park thing, garage sale in the park or something.
Arts in the Park.
Arts in the park, yeah, and same thing. And we pull into our spot, and there's like 30 food trucks. And she's like, oh no, you know, what are we going to do? We got all this food, there's all these food trucks. And, you know, she was worried about, you know, going to spend all that money to go out there and then
By the way, I worry like that before every event.
everything about it.
Right.
And so
I can
what I
imagine.
did was I cooked off 3 burgers, cut them into 4s, put them in containers, and then I walked out to the event organizers and the security guys, and I handed out samples. And by the time I got back, we had a line, and we never stopped cooking the rest of the day. You know,
business.
but our
That's an
quality,
initiative.
our flavor, it just it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter where we go. You know.
Well, and there's a huge difference when it comes to food truck life. Local setting up on the streets here is
Uh-huh.
way different than setting up at events outside of Roswell.
Right,
And even
festivals.
some of the events inside of Roswell. But event life is way different
Yeah.
than
How
street
does that
sales.
work? When you do an event, for instance, for that event, I'm assuming, do they pay you to go?
I wish.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Apparently, in the East,
Oh, East Coast, like America?
the East Coast, yeah, that great divide of Mississippi line or whatever, they have minimum guarantees. So they'll say, I'll come to your event, but if I don't sell $1,000 worth of food, you as the person putting on the event has to pay me $1,000. If I sell over that, then we're good.
Okay.
And so, up to that $1,000. This side, let's go west, it became, no, you need to give me money
To be at my event.
Yeah.
How's
So
that
we have to
work?
pay to be at events.
Right.
That's so
And some of them are just so delusional and crazy that they think anybody can pay those fees that they want.
Right.
We had somebody from California come put on an event here, and they hit us up. And it was like a one-day event, and it was small and stupid. He went like $1,000, and I laughed at him. I said, "Not in Roswell."
Right.
I said, "You're smoking," and it might have been a pot
Right.
festival.
So then he thought you were gonna get the food and stuff.
It's like, well, that's what they pay in California. I'm like, dude, this is not California.
Right.
Yeah, this is
I
fun.
mean,
from
one,
there.
people don't pay that much money for food here to start with,
Right.
and there's no way we're ever going to sell that to comp back that amount.
Right.
Yeah, that's crazy. That is. See, I would have never guessed. I thought if they wanted you there, knowing your food was what they wanted there, then they should fork up a little bit. Like, even if it's not $1,000 or whatever, I don't know what the minimum, but something.
You want us there? We're Toddzilla.
Yeah, like we're traveling. For real.
Honestly, I mean, it really should be that way because especially if you want a truck for a small event, set on, if you got 300 people, say my minimum is $300. If I sell $300, you don't have to pay me a dime. If I sell $200, you need to pay me $1 or $100 to compensate for that. And that way, the food trucks don't get screwed in the back end of it because usually what happens is the promoters and the people holding all these events are walking going, I got me a big old fat check. I don't have to do anything. Doesn't matter if they lost money. It doesn't matter what happens to them.
Yeah, that sounds like a scam, I mean,
kind of is.
That's so crazy. I would have never thought of that. I thought, like I said, they would have to pay you. Because then, they're, like you said, you went to the one in Portales, there was 30 people there. If they're making you guys pay, it's like, well, man, why do you even have the event?
Well, and the other part they don't look at is like,
It's by you guys.
Right. Yeah, because they'll have a free event.
Oh, there it is.
Every participant can come to our event for free for 3 days in the middle of Roswell in summer. The little guys, the ones that don't really sell a whole lot, they may or may not can make their money. So they want. Well, it's every artist, every photographer, every food truck, every food person. Everybody thinks that we should provide them a service because they will advertise for us and get us exposure. Come to my event and give us 100 hot dogs or hamburgers because we'll get you great exposure.
I mean, no offense, but I think you guys have done a very well job on your own.
You giving them exposure.
Yeah. I mean, you don't have to say it. I'll say it. I think you helped them more than they helped you, probably.
So we were looking at, before we got the building, we were looking in Artesia.
Oh, okay.
So we, restaurant had posted up that they were, going to go out. So we went down there to go look at it. Little small building, which is fine because it's just the two of us, so we can't really go big anyways.
Okay.
So I was like, okay. They wanted like $60,000, which for a restaurant isn't bad.
Okay.
Just had a fire, so they were bringing some of the stuff up to code because code's big.
Right.
And we were looking at it, and then we go down there and meet with her and everything. And well, you're not buying the building; you're just buying the equipment in the building. It's like, okay, there's not $60,000 worth of equipment in here. There's like $20,000 worth of equipment, and half of that has to be thrown out because it's all crap. And it's like, she's like, well, but you're buying my clientele because you'll get all my customers, and we have a good reputation. And I laughed at her, and I'm like, no, our reputation's better.
Oh, dang.
I was like, there's a reason we're down here is because they're calling us, wanting us to come set up down here because there's no food.
Right.
Oh, dang.
It's like, I don't want your menu, I don't want your recipes, I don't want nothing
I
from
want
you.
us,
I
just
want
your
this
building.
and equipment, or half of it.
Dang. So outside of that, what it like, it didn't work out. You guys ended up here in town. Have you ever thought about expanding, like at least in New Mexico or even in Artesia further?
I don't know. I think it would work anywhere. I mean,
Okay.
as many events as we've done outside of Roswell, I have the firm belief that it doesn't matter where we go, whether inside New Mexico or outside. I think we'd be successful anywhere we go.
That would be freaking awesome. Because I think a lot of people know about you guys. Like outside of Roswell, like you said, you guys went to these like big popular events that y'all won awards for.
We
you know?
were in Las Cruces doing a festival there,
Okay.
and that was our first time in Cruces. And we got set up, everything ready to go. Decided to go out and get food. We're sitting in the waiting area of a restaurant, and somebody comes up and is like, "Oh my God, Toddzilla!"
Really?
Yeah, and it's like,
Did you sign an autograph?
no,
Ah.
no. But I mean, it's amazing to me.
It is amazing. I mean, to think you guys had an idea, you ran with it, and look at where it's gone, you guys.
And I think one of the best aspects of it too is the friendships we've made. I think of Keith and Michelle Schneider. They were a couple from Santa Fe. They came down to Roswell for a day trip.
We were getting ready to close, and they were calling. They're like, and she's vegetarian.
Oh, okay.
And she was calling, and she's like, "Can you guys stay open? I mean, we're almost there. We'll be there. Will you feed us?"
Yeah,
I was like, "I mean, you got nothing else to do. Why not?"
Right.
Oh,
So
nice.
we waited for them. They came. We found something suitable for her to eat, and then they sat down and ate. And we got out later and talked with them while they were eating.
Yeah, we were there like an hour after they were done eating, still sitting there.
We're just chatting with them, and we ended up exchanging information. And they hit us up on Facebook. Hey, do you want to come? It was Michelle's birthday, or it was her birthday. And they said, "Do you want to come out to our birthday party?" And we're like, "Yeah, sure," but we didn't think we were, And it just so happened that we were free that weekend. Something fell through, and we were free that weekend. And we said, "What the hell?" So we drove up. Now they didn't know that we were on our way.
Yeah.
So we just showed up, and they, of course, we're like, we're necessarily in our work clothes, but we weren't dressed up. And this is a really nice hotel resort thing in Santa Fe, and we're like, we really don't belong here. And we walked in, and they saw us, and they started introducing us to everybody. And everybody that they introduced us to was like, "Oh my God, you guys are the food truck people." They had told everyone about us. I mean, it's just so neat,
That is super cool.
have that kind of impact and make those kind of friends, Michael and
Yeah,
and Courtney.
I've noticed a pattern. We
What?
kind of have a tendency to have strange couples invite us to their house,
Huh, that's weird. I'm glad we're not
Shout us
couples.
shout us up.
Are you sure you're not a couple?
Yeah,
There's nothing wrong with that.
I mean, no, that would be weird. He's my brother.
Oh,
Couples don't have to be that kind of couples, guys.
I mean, I don't know. I guess that is weird. But I mean,
It
I was.
happens a lot though for us.
Yeah.
I,
It
Think
really
about it, like,
oddly enough,
I don't
it
ever
does.
think. I just like, oh, it's a podcast. Like, I never think about it.
I don't know. I
Come to
guess
Santa Fe. Oh, you can stay at our place.
Yeah, we stayed
We
with
don't
them.
know you.
really.
Yeah, we stayed with them.
That is dumb.
I mean, if y'all need a room, there's an extra one. I got it. That's too funny.
There was another place besides Michael and Courtney. There's somebody else. We didn't really know them, and we crashed at their place too.
I know.
It was another couple.
Oh my
It
goodness.
was just like, it's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Well, the other part you have to think about with like having a food truck is, so you're taking down the trailer. All you have left is the truck. But the trailer is usually, if it's an event that has generators, and by the way, they don't all have generators, so then you have to run your own equipment. Then you have to find a place that you can keep your trailer plugged in overnight because of the refrigerators.
Oh dang.
Most of the places are campgrounds.
Oh, man.
So we end up staying in campgrounds a lot so that we can plug the trailer in. My toolbox still has a air mattress, a tent, and blankets.
Oh my gosh.
I won't take them out just in case. You never know. I
never
might get stuck
know.
somewhere.
Yeah, that's.
What was that for Tellus too?
That was going to Clovis.
Clovis.
We went and stayed at the state park with the coyotes.
Oh man.
I'll never forget that, because we got the food truck there, it's loaded up, and it's plugged in and everything. And I mean, it was nice. It was a nice campground. We got the tent set up, got everything ready. Sun goes down. We go to get in the tent, and then you start hearing the wolves. Yeah, and it's like, oh wow, and then you could hear their footprints on the ground. It's like, oh my God, they're close. And all I could think of is they smell the bacon. They smell the bacon. They're coming for us. We're just going to be an appetizer before they jump in the food truck.
Oh man, that is crazy. Yeah, I couldn't even imagine that. At least you were prepared for the most part. I mean, you could have been not prepared.
Oh yeah, we've had those too. So we did an event in Artesia. It was called Rally in the Weeds. It's a music event, which is literally put on out in the dirt fields on the west side of Artesia off the highway.
Oh, okay.
And it's cool. I mean, it's all rock music and everything. I mean, they had some great bands lined up. It's like, cool, this will be fun, kind of our element. We go out there and it rains.
Oh, dang.
And it doesn't just rain. It rains like it did this past week in Roswell rain.
Really?
It was standing. I dubbed it Rally in the Mud.
Oh,
we got stuck.
Yeah.
We got stuck. The entire festival had to close.
Right.
We can't cook because water pours in through all your open vents and stuff.
Right.
And grease and water don't go together, so we had to shut the truck down. We couldn't get out. I couldn't even get the truck hooked back up to the trailer because I was sliding everywhere. I couldn't get under it. And even if I could have got under it, there was no way I was getting it out.
Right.
Yeah, with all that weight, that would have been
Another
impossible.
event who didn't get us a generator.
Right.
So we were having to use our generator, which, I mean, it runs, but it doesn't have the time span on it.
Oh, okay.
So was having to get up every couple hours, go run the generator for like
Right.
30 minutes, shut it off because we had to conserve gas.
Right.
And it was a relatively. It was around this time of year, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And so we weren't like prepared clothing wise because we figured we'd get done and get the heck out of there.
Oh.
Well, I'm wearing shorts. I don't know what she had on, but she's always cold.
I've got like 5 jackets in the back, so I'm good.
Yeah, so I mean, it's between staying warm and being in the truck, and of course, every time you get out to turn the generator back on, you sink a foot down in mud.
I lost my shoes a couple times, covered in mud, soaking wet,
Yeah,
sleeping
this
in
is
the
what
front
you
of
want
the
to
truck.
do when you retire. You want to get a food truck.
Don't do it. Sounds like that.
It's
sounds,
fun if you want to have adventures.
You got to have a
Just
sense of
kinda-
humor.
Is that kind of why you guys went with the restaurant? Y'all were done with the food truck, kind of.
It has a
So it has a restroom, and then what else? What?
That was the selling.
That was it.
The restroom and the larger refrigeration capacity.
Yeah, no,
Oh,
it's the
okay.
restroom.
Yeah, I guess when I really thought about it, I thought, I mean, how hard could it be? Like, not
The
hard.
thing
I'm
is,
not here to
you
take
guys
away
don't
from
think
it.
about it. You guys can walk outside and go pee anywhere you want.
That's true. I guess. you're right.
You guys don't
Yeah,
think
you-
about it.
That's true.
I have to think about it. We were at an event and we had been there for hours and I hadn't been able to get to the restroom. And it's like, we have to stop. I have to go now. I mean, I've waited as long as I could, and I told them, and our line is longer than shit. And I told them, I said, you gotta give me 10 minutes. They started cussing me out.
People are mad because she wanted to go to the
I was
bathroom.
like, I'm sorry, I can stand here and pee my pants and serve you food, or you're gonna give me 10 minutes, let me run over to the restroom and come right back.
People are ruthless. They don't
It's
get
like,
it.
oh my God, nobody understands how difficult it is for a female in a food truck.
No,
Again, you guys can,
yeah,
can
just
walk
turn
out.
around on the back of the trailer and you're good.
No, we don't
That's-
recommend that, but
No.
yeah. But yeah, I mean, literally, y'all can go anywhere.
Yeah, I guess from that point and just, you guys get busy. I've seen where it's just people, when you would post up where that old Sonic used to be right by McDonald's, that little spot. You guys still post up there, don't y'all? Right there, across from Buffalo Wild Wings.
No, that's Black Betty.
That's Black Betty.
Oh, I thought that was
That's
We can
it,
edit
done.
that part out.
Cancel the se-
I was looking at him too, and I was just like,
I could have sworn that was him.
Look
I was like, hold up, what are you doing? But
I think I just shot myself in the foot.
I don't know who you're talking. Oh, I know who you were talking about. I was just looking at him like,
Oh,
You read this.
however, I've never seen a line over there.
No.
So, I don't know what the hell he's talking about.
No. We are cutting this part out.
no, hell no, no,
It
no,
was
no.
that smoke festival.
Oh my god.
Oh
No
my
way.
gosh, I just made a complete fool of myself on camera.
That was, yeah, I was looking at him like,
I could have sworn that was him. I don't know what I was
truck,
thinking.
not the brown one, but he was like,
I don't know. I'm just gonna just jump through that one right there.
that was,
I don't even know how to segue out of that.
I think of like UFO several times where it was just, I mean,
Oh,
there were you just order after order after order, and I'd open up that back door and just see a line, and it was like it's just never ending. It's not going to stop, and it doesn't stop until we run out of food.
Dang.
You know.
yeah. Although it was funny the first year we did the UFO festival because being newbies, most food truck people, we work together because we all know the life and stuff. But sometimes you have some people who are just extremely competitive and have other things to say. So we were at UFO festival. We finally got to where we were setting up, but they wanted us to separate from this other trailer because they're the big draw for the festival. Their line is just so long and wrapped around everywhere. And we're like, okay, you know, fine. Our line was so long, wrapped around everywhere, and they weren't doing squat.
Dang.
I was like,
As a matter of fact, they took a picture of our truck and our line, and they posted on Facebook, and I can't remember what they commented on there, but you know, and basically only one truck is selling food today, something like that. And
Oh, I
and
thought
was
they were
us.
gonna try to switch it and say that was their line.
No.
Also, dang, they're trying to take y'all's.
that's one of the best feeling ever. Like, y'all go to an event and everybody's just at your truck, like this is.
Well, it's confirmation of you know what we do and you know the passion that we have. You know, I mean,
definitely.
I think a lot of people think, you know, I'm gonna buy a food truck and you know I'm gonna make all this money and you know and whatever, and it doesn't work that way.
I don't think
You know,
anything works that way.
especially with anybody that doesn't really have any experience in doing it or doesn't have any passion doing it.
Right.
There's just so many people out there putting out just sustenance, subpar food, you know, just something to fill their belly, you know, and I think people come to us to have a food experience,
Yeah.
and it's something that, you know, just really sets us apart from everybody else.
well, and the other thing, I mean, the reason that we work so well is, you know, like he was saying, he has the cooking. He came out of that kitchen. He had a great following. His food skills, his that part of it is excellent. My background is I'm marketing. I've got the business savvy. I know how to create, run, operate, purchase, and do all that because, you know, the school district, I was doing 14,000 meals a day. So I took what I knew, he took what he knew, and we put it together. It was a perfect partnership because most places you got an owner who's never worked in a restaurant, so they just put stuff together or has the money and they hire this person who doesn't know how to do this side, who doesn't know how that. So they got like 20,000 people or 20 people trying to put things together and nobody really knows what anybody's doing, where us, we're the entire package
Right.
within just two people.
Man.
And so
And
there's a reason a lot of food trucks fail is because, one, you don't understand the business side of it. You may have the passion for food,
Right.
but that doesn't keep you
Right.
going if you don't have business sense to understand how to make sure that you're not underselling and you're
Right.
covering all your expenses and everything else that goes with it.
Yeah, that's very true.
Which
You know,
is,
and the other part of it too I keep thinking of is even with all the experience we had combined, once we got in that food truck, we discovered so many things that we didn't know.
Yeah, that was a whole
I can't imagine somebody going into that environment and never having the experience that we had combined and then trying to figure these things out. You know?
That's probably why, like you said earlier, that they're just on the decline. The people that are.
Right.
Yeah, those are the ones that don't last. It's
Right.
like, yeah, well, yeah, my family says I'm a great cook. I should open up a restaurant or a food truck, and
Right.
it's different cooking for your family, you
And
know,
it is cooking for other
than
people.
cooking for other people.
Yeah,
It's
and
not
you-
the same.
And you have to have such a thick skin, which I just recently developed. But but the thing is you just can't satisfy everybody, and it's so different in that aspect too. I mean, if you look at some of our reviews, within 3 or 4 reviews, you'll see this is the best burger I ever had, and then the next one says this is disgusting. I can't believe people eat this. And you just never know who you're gonna hit or who's gonna come. And the other aspect is you don't know what mood they're in when they come. They may be
Yeah.
having a horrible day, and it doesn't matter what you do, it's not gonna make it better.
That's
true.
That's
So
very true.
unfortunately,
Try.
a lot of those people write reviews. So
Yeah. I mean, that's, I guess, kind of along our lines is we just did this and we're just rolling with it. You
Right.
learn as you go. Originally,
Right.
we started in the other room with low lighting, recording on my phone, and now it's just progressing slowly, but
now you have the camera that keeps going out.
we're cutting that out. But yeah, like
I like him.
I completely, like, obviously not to the extreme, because I can only imagine when y'all are super busy and whatnot. Like we don't got that. We don't deal with the people
Well,
like that either.
You adapt and you learn, because it was certainly something I'm sure that you weren't really accustomed to. I wasn't really accustomed to it either. The only positive side I had was that I'd worked alone in a kitchen for a good number of years, so I knew timing, that type of thing, but I still wasn't ready for the numbers that we were doing. Some of the numbers we were doing were just insane numbers.
I don't know. I came out of the schools. We don't do anything.
Well, what I was trying to say is, that immediate,
Right.
yeah.
So
And somebody up in your face, and you have to, talk to people, which she's so much better at than I am.
Right.
When you're talking to a customer, and I'm like, come on, let's get out. What do you want? What do you want? Let me, do this. I gotta get.
That's why
get going.
cooks should be in a kitchen with a wall
With a
and not
wall.
allowed to see people.
These stupid fucking things that they want to put a kitchen out somewhere, and so everybody can see what they're doing. Fuck that.
Hey, that's how I'm the cook basically, bro. I'm just kind of like, he's better. He's the word guy. He knows everything.
I try.
He's the talking word.
It just comes out.
You guys are a great couple.
You guys do.
All right, I'll go get my tent blanket.
That's too funny. Man, thank you so much. I don't think we can express how much we appreciate it.
Yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
really glad that you
Absolutely.
guys were y'all were at least willing to come on and tell us a lot that I didn't know, and I'm sure all our viewers are going to see that they didn't know half of the things that you guys are talking about. I mean, and also, I love what you guys are doing. I mean, I've tried multiple of your burgers. Not once have I been disappointed. I mean, even the creativeness that you guys have done with just the burger, changing from chorizo to peanut butter and jelly to just doing your own things, that's what inspires, I think, myself, and I can't speak for him, but I'd like to say, yeah, him too, because you see people everywhere and they try to keep it simple, but sometimes you just gotta jump off and do something different, and it might hit, it might miss, but regardless, at least you attempted and you guys did it, and it shows for itself. It shows for itself, so we definitely appreciate you guys coming on today.
Absolutely.
Telling us a side of a story that not many people are gonna very much
Do
get
you have
personally.
any funny stories you want to add?
Yeah, is there anything you haven't told us?
Any other funny stories?
Yeah.
I think all of mine have been the funny stories.
You better start coming up with some stories. Well, we appreciate you. We will be sharing this video. You guys go like and subscribe to the video. If you guys haven't made it down to their restaurant, what's the exact address?
107 Twin Diamond.
107 Twin Diamond. You guys heard it first.
What's the phone number?
755 food.
Can you make an order in and carry out or what?
You can order online.
Oh, online too.
Yeah. And
oh, you know what? You're right.
it'll send you a text. We send you a text whenever it's ready, so that way just hit the drive-through and I hand the bag out.
Nice.
Sometimes out the back door. We have burger deals we do.
Hey, you hear that, guys? You guys haven't tried it? Go and try it. I love it. He loves it. Of course, they love it. Go show them some support. Until next time, you guys have a good week. Beard Bros out.
Thanks, guys.